Jesus Rocks here, and I'm back with another pickups video. These are some games that I recently picked up. Thought I'd show you what I found. So let's get started here. And I found some Genesis games at a local used bookstore called Half Price Books, and I've been getting great luck just finding random games there. And one of those is Primal Rage. This is a brand new game to me. I've never played it before, but looked like it might be halfway decent. Only paid a couple bucks for it, so I thought I'd pick it up. In that same pack, I also got Buck Rogers. Don't know anything about this game either, but it's called Countdown to Doomsday. So I'll have to take a look and see if that's any good. Also, I found this weird game here. Looks like it might be a role-playing game from Taito. It's called Saint Sword for the Sega Genesis. Again, I have no idea what this is about, but it's just, you walk into this used bookstore and they got this one rack and it's just, just sort of random stuff that people bring in and you just never know what you're going to get. It's not really a gaming store, so it's not really picked over, and I love going every Friday or Saturday and just rolling the dice and sort of seeing what they have. It's kind of fun. Recently, for the Nintendo 64, I picked up Perfect Dark, which is a first-person shooter created by Rare. I didn't own this game, and I'm pretty happy to pick it up, actually. I've heard a lot of great things about it. This is their sequel to GoldenEye, as a lot of people know. And it's just sort of one of those games that a lot of people feel you should own, in your collection if you have an N64. So, pretty cool to get it. Found in kind of a flea market for the original Nintendo NES is Skate or Die. And I used to own this on the Commodore 64 back in the day when I was in junior high and high school. And I know nothing about the NES version, but I saw this for $1 and I thought, yeah, it'd be cool to have in my collection. Next up, for the PlayStation 1, I found Crusaders of Might and Magic. Another game which I know very little of, but I actually really like this series on the PC, and lately I've been really into collecting PlayStation 1 games, and so anytime I find something I don't have, I always, as long as it's not too expensive, I want to pick it up. It's pretty cool. Jet Moto. Didn't play this back in the day, so this is new to me. I've heard this game is pretty hard, but I love racing games, and this seems like it's kind of futuristic, so I'm going to have to dig into this and check it out. Could be fun. And then a game I've heard an awful lot about, and I actually paid a little bit of money for this, Parasite Eve from Squaresoft. Haven't played this game. I've heard good things about it. This was an expensive game for me at $20. So, typically I wouldn't do that, but for a game like this that seems to just keep going up in value and seems to be rarer and rarer, I figured that was a good deal and something to own, to add to the collection. For the original Xbox, I just happened to run into a copy of Brother in Arms, Road to Hill 30. I've heard very good things about this game, and if I can find a game like this for $1 or $2, I want to snag it. I should say I'm actually looking for some of the consoles that I'm really sort of actively searching for now is the original Xbox, and the reason for that is because, one, frankly, games are being given away. It's amazing to me how Microsoft has just sort of abandoned this console, and because of that, it just seems like you can get games for it used for like $1, and it's really not that old. And so there are people on Craigslist and even eBay who are basically just blowing out entire collections of the original Xbox for really cheap. And so I'm very interested in just getting all of those games while I can, because I'm afraid that in 5 years or so, these games might be really hard to find and be more expensive. So I'm trying to get them now. For the PlayStation 2, I got Mad Maestro, which is a rhythm game, and it's based on classical music. And I played a little bit of this, and just kind of picked this up on a whim. I just saw it used, and it wasn't very much money. And it's kind of hard. It's hard because it seems like the buttons are sensitive, on the PlayStation 2 controller, and so depending on how hard you hit the X or the O buttons and stuff, depends on how much strength you go in sort of like hitting the music. I know I'm not really explaining this very well, but it's harder than it sounds, and actually I was failing badly on it, so I need to put some more time into it. Also for the PlayStation 2 is Gran Turismo 4. I don't own any Gran Turismo games, and I thought, you know what, maybe now's the time to pick them up. So I got this one. I probably will pick up Gran Turismo 5 on the PlayStation 3 when that ships, because I heard that it has the Top Gear track in it, and I absolutely love Top Gear. I am a fanatic about Top Gear. I watch it seems like almost every day, and so just the ability to pretend to be the Stig, drive around that track, even in the virtual realm, sounds like a blast to me. So looking forward to that. Something kind of random is I picked up the original Xbox controller. This is the very first Xbox controller, the fat one, the one that people hated. Now, if you've seen my Xbox retrospective, you know that the reason why I did that is because I wanted to show just how freaking huge this thing is. And I was surprised how hard it was to find. There's not a lot of people who have these anymore. And they're not expensive, but you do have to search sometimes to actually find them. And actually, for me, for my hands, it's not too big. So I kind of like it. It kind of reminds me of the Dreamcast controller. That's also a fairly large controller. So it's kind of cool to have this back into my collection. Also, I picked up at a garage sale, just actually a couple doors down, my neighbor was blowing out the Atari Flashback 2. This is a pretty cool gaming system. It basically emulates the Atari 2600, and it includes 40 games, I believe, that are sort of built into it. But the best part about it is that you can actually use the original Atari controllers if you have them, which I do. So it's pretty cool. I played a little bit of it, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was emulating the games very well. As a matter of fact, I might do a review of that one and another Atari sort of all-in-one thing that I have, and just compare the two. Next up, for the Xbox 360, the thing I love about summer is that not a lot of good releases come out, and so sometimes you can pick up games for dirt cheap. And so I've been kind of going back and buying games that I didn't buy the first time around, and one of those is Fear 2 Project Origin. I paid $7 for this, which is a pretty good deal, and I just finished it last night, and actually I was pretty blown away by it. I think it starts off kind of mediocre. At first I was like, oh no, you're going through really sort of bland office space and stuff like that, and it just wasn't interesting. But halfway through, this game got really cool, really fun. I couldn't put it down, and enjoyed it a lot. SNEStastic did a video recently he did a play video on this of 007 Quantum of Solace. I absolutely love the new James Bond. I love all James Bond, even the bad ones. But I'll tell you what, the new ones are absolutely awesome. And so I've been meaning to pick this up for a while. And this was only $7 as well. I'm actually going to start this tonight since I finished Fear. And can't wait to dig into that. Also got Splinter Cell Conviction. I paid $30 for this because it's pretty new and it's still in demand. But I figured that was a good price. And I played through it and beat it and really enjoyed it. I absolutely love stealth games. My favorite stealth game of all time is Thief. I enjoy the Metal Gear Solid games, and then the Splinter Cell, all of the Splinter Cell games I've absolutely loved, and this one, it was really good. It was actually better than the last one, I think. Next up is Grid, again for the Xbox 360, and I picked this up, I think, for $10, and I love racing games, and I love Need for Speed, and this is kind of a Need for Speed type game, kind of arcadey. Finally, for the Xbox 360, I picked up Guitar Hero World Tour. This was another $7 game. I've been playing a lot of Rock Band, and I just thought it might be kind of fun to get this and play through some songs that I don't already own. And then finally, I can't neglect my PlayStation 3, and I picked up Heavy Rain. And I gotta say that I really liked this game. I was kind of impressed, which is a good thing because I paid over $50 for it. That was too much, but it's such a high quality game. I would say that this really reminded me of the old Sierra Adventures, or maybe the LucasArts ones like, Secret of Monkey Island or even Full Throttle. Just that kind of gameplay where you're sort of clicking around and moving around in rooms and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. It has a bunch of different endings, and the only thing I would say, the really weird thing about this game is that You do a lot of really mundane tasks in it. Like for instance, in the beginning of the game, you're literally brushing a guy's teeth, which I thought was a little much. And at times, you know, you're taking a shower and, you know, doing stuff like that, which is just really bizarre. But then at other times, the story is really riveting. You're eager to find out, you know, what happens in this. And as a matter of fact, I was actually kind of surprised by the story in this. I thought I could kind of figure out what was going on, and the ending surprised me. That's all I'll say. If you're into story-driven adventure games, I don't know if I would pay $50 for this, which is what I paid. You might wait another couple months or maybe 6 months and try to pick it up for 30 or 40, but it's, for PlayStation owners, it's, you know, it's a must for your collection. So that's everything I've gotten so far, and I want to thank everyone for watching my channel. I want to thank you for subscribing. I love doing these, and take care.